Welcome to the Wellness Artist Podcast by Niran Ojomo MD. Saweti Amike. So we'll be talking about one of my favorite topics today. How to achieve balance and equanimity. It's gonna be an interesting topic. Sort of interesting that we are getting to the summit of this week, and by the time that's the time of the recording, and by the time you listen to this, hopefully we should be landing at the week. Interesting, right? So I would play my guitar as usual. Feel free to grab your guitar if you like and join me. Again, I'm a work in progress as we're learning together, we're growing together. So I'm going to sing the song by Bon Marley, of course, Three Little Birds. So grab your guitar, you can sing along. So somebody challenged me to rap, so I'm not sure about that. So maybe I'll try and give it a go at the end. Maybe you want to stay tuned to the end and see. So let's go. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Right up this morning, smile with the rising sun. By my doorstep, singing sweet songs, a melody pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Don't worry about a thing, every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile, rising sun, three little birds by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying it's my message to you. So what do you think about that? Yeah, like I was joking the other day with someone that I love strumming the guitar while standing up, but my team said I need to, play it while sitting down, obviously. Right? So let's jump into the topic. Okay? So the topic is the fourth episode. Can you believe that? So how can you achieve balance and equanimity? That's for me. And I think this topic is actually for me, right? Okay, so we're going to be talking about, understanding balance and equanimity. We'll talk a little bit about the definition of both and the importance of balance. So what are the strategies for maintaining balance? I've got my note here. Cultivating equanimity. Then we'll talk about real life examples as well. I think we'll be talking about some interactive questions. So one of the things my team did was to send question around a social media platform and our website, and we received some tons of questions. And yeah, takeaway. That's my wife's favorite. You don't ask me, what did I learn? What would I do differently? Yeah, I'll be able to tell her. So let's get into it. So why do we need balance? Okay, I need to sit down properly and get balance. So I could speak a little bit fast, please. It's my coffee. Please let me know in the comment below if I'm speaking fast so I can slow down a bit, because we're talking about balance, right? So in our fast-paced world, in the 21st century, where we are moving at the light of speed, literally and metaphorically speaking, sometimes we need to slow down and to reflect so we can achieve balance. And I know it's difficult, right? But without slowing down and maintaining balance, then I think we're at risk of being burnt out. And I mean, most of us can relate to that. So we'll be sharing strategies, and techniques that we can use to achieve balance. Again, I'm not an expert, I'm a practitioner, and I'm still work in progress, as you can see. So let's go to the definition. So maybe we'll leave in the show note some researchers talked about different definitions, and if you have appetite to read, maybe you can go and click that link and perhaps read more. We just want to provide a more kind of practical, zero cost tips for people to use. Okay, so balance really. So it just rely. Yeah, I'm reading my notes here. Refers to the ability to achieve balance, maintain stability, and harmonious state in every aspect of our life. Either it's spirituality, family, work, whatever, whatever. So my wellness edge, I mean, I'm able to, so, if you have a look at that, talks about how can you achieve balance, spirituality, fitness, you can have a look at that. If you don't have a system in place, you can go to our website to grab a copy. It's been really helpful, and I'm still learning. So that's all balance, and equanimity is quite. So on the other hand, it's more like, so how do you maintain a calm posture or balance, right? In the face of stress, adversity, or hardship, how can you do that? I know it's hard, really. For me, I've fallen off from the metaphoric, falling off the wagon, metaphorically and literally speaking. And it's interesting that I've learned a lot, and I'm sure most of us can relate to that. So maybe we should move on to talk about. I've talked about why do we need balance. I think it's just so very important to ensure that we don't burn out, and that we continue to make progress, whatever our ambitions or our aspirations are. So I think what we should talk about next is the strategies of maintaining balance. And one of the things I do is I have a useful mnemonic that I use that helps me. So something like, okay, PB, I double check. So it's PBSS, right? So P stands for priorities, B stands for boundaries, and S, self-care, and staying flexible. So I think setting priorities is, we could dedicate a whole podcast to that, but essentially it's just you following what your values are. And I'm sure we have different values. So for me, as you know, I'm a man of faith and science, and also I'm a pro dad. What that means really is I'm heavily invested in my kids' education, okay, before they disappear to college. Obviously, my daughter Annie, she's in high school, and Josh is doing great in middle school. So I'm trying to be to be there for them now and coach and mentor them. So so those are my priorities. Of course, I've got other things too. I'm a consultant, and I'm a founder of G-Nest, and yeah, so it's a busy life, right? And the other thing is I think we should move on to establishing boundaries. I mean, again, we could dedicate on that topic. Let me know if you would like me to talk about boundaries. So I had to learn this the hard way. I usually think, so maybe I should give you, there's a colleague of mine will finish from Ife, and we have this conversation. You wouldn't mind me, I won't mention his name. You wouldn't mind me mentioning this. We have a close to 30 or an hour talk about this. Maybe you will join us one of the podcasts. We talk about relationship essentially, right? But I think we both agree that to have a meaningful relationship, you first have to set boundaries for yourself. You have to know who you are. That's an awareness question. And also you have to set boundaries for yourself and also for others, right? And so this will ensure that you have a meaningful relationship that is stable over time, and you can be there for each other as friends and also as a community as well. It doesn't necessarily mean in a relationship you have to be a doormat. Some people think that's what friends are for. That's not true. And also, on the other hand, you don't want to be a bully, right? I mean, you don't want to be. Some people think that could be super assertive. I'm not too sure. Sometimes I just really, maybe I'm passionately honest. I've challenged colleagues before to challenge them with their awareness. But I think I've learned that you can take a horse to the river, but you can't force it to drink. So I'm mindful of my interaction. And again, I'm still growing. So setting boundaries is just setting boundaries. It depends what people think about it. So you could set boundaries between work and your personal life, right? Or you could set boundaries, with yourself. For example, I really drink, right? Maybe on occasion. And I love exercise, and that's a boundary for me. And yeah, a couple of other things I can share. My wife wouldn't want me to share online. So boundaries is just important for us to ensure balance. So the other topic is self-care. So self-care, I think because I'm a trained medical doctor and also a psychiatrist, and there's a thing about in the trenches, particularly in so I'm alluding to the Hippocratic oath here, where people think you have to sacrifice your mental health and your life for other people. That's not true. I think my reading now recently of the Hippocratic oath is quite different. Okay, but maybe we could spend 100 podcasts on that. But essentially, it's all about you being there for other people, but at the same time maintaining your own balance or your own mental health. So your self-care doesn't mean you are selfish at all. It means you're doing the right thing. Okay, if I can remember all the great philosophers, including Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, yeah, the great Chinese philosophers, they have always looked after their mental health. Rather they go to the mountain, they use it, or they do meditation before they help others. I mean, go and check that out. They are good examples for us. The last point there is staying flexible. And I think this is just because we know life is very unpredictable, right? Sometimes life would throw us curveball, right? Would throw us curveball, and then sometimes, and that means we have to be very flexible with life. And for me, my two greatest teachers, Annie and Josh, my two kids, they've taught me to be a good dad, not a great one, but a good dad, or a good enough dad. I have to be flexible with them. So, for example, this morning, I had to move things around to ensure that I'm there for them. And also at the recording of this podcast, Josh came in and I had to take a breath as if I was doing mindfulness, and I have to attend to Josh, double check he's doing well, how was school today, and then I'm back. Likewise, if Annie were to come in now. So that's just been flexible. And and for me, I had to. So, for example, there's somebody who was it's still a mentor, but it's sort of a recent mentor, Professor, Eduardo Jacoponi. You wouldn't mind me mention his name. I think he actually mentored me during the trenches, and he's still a friend, right? despite our differences. It helped me, to be flexible and to navigate the politics of the trenches. And we're hoping to get him on the podcast soon. And likewise, to I think Ty too. Oh, Ty should be a professor now, given his incredible job he's doing in the online, in the wellness community as well and the mental community. I think he's doing a great job. If you're not following Ty, go and check him out. He's an amazing guy. I'm sure he will be on the podcast soon. So he's also a great. He was a senior in IFE, then we became sort of buddies or colleagues, at the Maudsley kind of training, higher training, so to speak. I mean, he wouldn't mind me mentioning his name. So hopefully we get him also. These are people that will help me to maintain sort of flexibility while in the trenches. But of course, in the bigger scheme of things, my wife and my kids and my family, particularly the trusted ones, they've helped me not only with flexibility, but also with balance. So let's talk about cultivating equanimity. Interesting one. So before we talk about it, I'll just quickly say that I think it was this week, I was in the public place, and I had a conversation with a gentleman called Mr. Ond. He's just an amazing guy. We had this conversation, and he probably lectured me on what, balance is, wisdom, and all that. I wish I could have recorded this episode. So Mr. Ond, we'd like to have you on the podcast soon. So one of the things he told me was that he said wisdom is ability to understand our own emotion, and balance or equanimity is ability to take that wisdom and to apply that. Also, oh my God, I just so profound and deep. Yeah. So how do we cultivate equanimity? So I've got in my show notes here, mindfulness and meditation. I don't have a photographic memory, so I still rely on show notes here. So mindfulness and meditation will be the first one. Secondly, reframing your perspective. Thirdly, how do you manage the stress level? Then seeking support. In terms of mindfulness, I think we spend a dedicated podcast on my morning routine. You can go and check that out. But essentially, let me just share this secret with you. So this week or this month, I'm doing what we call the non-dominant and mindfulness. What that means really is using your left hand, for example, if you're right-handed, and the converse will be true, to do mundane tasks. So for example, or that. Okay. So I'm struggling at the moment. Give it a go. Let us know how how that experience is going for you. You can either leave a comment and see how best we can support you with that. It's just an incredible skill to have, to be able to use both hands. I wrote that in my book, so A Life and a Life. You can check that out if you like. So the second point is reframing your perspective, and this is just incredibly important for me. I need to see multiple perspectives. Okay, I've got different mentors that mentor me, and I've got friends and family, so they're able to point out like I was saying, the professor in psychiatry, we had this conversation, and he was able to point out my blind spot about relationships. And that's awesome, really. But it was like, a two-way discourse, right? So I think having people around you is great. It helps you with perspective, and also having a positive mindset as well. It's amazing. So the other thing is you viewing life's difficulties as challenges and opportunity for growth rather than the other way around. And it took me years to get to that point. So one of the questions that I normally ask myself, is what are the current opportunities, or what are the opportunities in my current challenges? I try to ask myself, and I ask my community as well. And it's quite a deep question. Think about that for a second. Okay, the third point is managing stress, and the fourth is seeking support. So maybe we have to dedicate another podcast for managing stress. But essentially, for me, I know that naturally I'm an introvert, but then I'm moving to like being an ambivert. I don't think I'm an extrovert, except you think I am. So I love social media. I love people, but I don't know. My stress level goes up, particularly my glucose. So I try to avoid social media. To be honest, but I've got incredible team around me that are doing a fantastic job. Well done, team. Kudos. So, but I still maintain, my online presence, particularly on LinkedIn, where I try my best to respond uh, um, to your questions, right? So we'll come back to the thought question shortly. So one of the other things about me, I like running around, I like lifting weight, I like nature, I like meditation, I like playing my guitar. So these are ways I ensure I manage my stress level. It'll be interesting to know how you do that. So this one, maybe I struggle with it, is on seeking support. I don't think I struggle with that. But some people think I do. I don't ask for help. I think I do. What I do really is that I'm very proactive. So, for example, I've told you, I'm not a philosopher, but I've got tons of books here. Maybe we need to do another podcast on that. So I'm gleaning wisdom from the people, the patriarchs. And yeah, I'm not a religious person, either in Christianity, in philosophy, in Islam, in African mythology, in Greek, Asian, whatever, where I can find wisdom. So I'm very proactive and I'm learning, rather than being reactive. So I'm learning great. But it doesn't mean I don't have friends. I do have very trusted friends, but I'm not really an extrovert. So they help me. Other people in the books that are mentoring me, or my local support, they help me keep balance as well. So I don't know what works for you, but I think it's always good to seek support. There's no shame in if you need coaching. I'm a part of the John Maxwell team, so I have incredible support around me. Joining our mastermind group, that's amazing. What else? If you need therapy, that's awesome. I have a therapist colleague, male and female, the Canadians really, and we do collaborate. So there's no shame in that if you need therapy. Okay, and if you need spiritual support from your local pastor, I think it's incredible support there. So please feel free to make use of that. Right. So I think we're almost coming to the end of this podcast. So real life examples, then we talk about interactive questions that we put out there on social media, and then I can't wait to do the wrap. So the real life example, I think we could spend the whole day talking about this, but I think Barack Obama, yeah, he's an incredible guy. The reason being that it's not only that he's black, he rose from an humble beginning through the trenches to be, is it the 42nd or 44th? Please, if I'm mistaken, just let me know. He was the most powerful person on earth, and one of the things I learned from him is, I read from his book, Promised Land, is he usually takes the long view of things, and that helps him to calm down, right? And that's awesome. What else really? So I mean, the other historical figures we could talk about, maybe we'd try and let me know if you want me to do a dedicated podcast on that. We spend half an hour on that really, but I relate to Obama really well. I'm not sure why. It doesn't matter. I mean, even Rishi Sunak, I do, and other people locally, and I Justin Trudeau. The reason is not because they've been placed on a pedestal, but because these people, they're incredible human beings doing an incredible job managing stress at that level. I couldn't imagine that. So I'm always like, oh my God, Larry, I'm not the president of the United States, I'm just managing my small, 6-figure business, yeah, and I'm learning a lot from them. So let's jump to the question. So overwhelmingly, so there are two questions that, I think we received so many questions, but there are two questions most importantly, our community, our viewers, our subscriber want us to talk about. So one, how do you do work-life balance when my job is demanding? And secondly, what are some quick techniques for calming down during a stressful event? So I'll address the first. So how do I do work-life balance? I'm not perfect, I'm flawed, but I use my wellness edge. You can get a free copy there, okay? And we did a dedicated podcast, I think one of the previous podcasts. If you want to, you can go and watch and listen to that, okay? Secondly, it's about what are quick techniques for calming down during a stressful moment. Like I said earlier on, we're doing a non-dominant and a mindfulness. So I do that maybe every month with my 2 kids. Again, sometimes it's Dad, I don't want to do that. It's okay. But you remember, they're my greatest teachers, and I'm just giving them the tools they need, to manage life stresses really before they disappear to college. And finally, we're almost at the end of this. So to wrap up, again, I don't have a photographic memory. I like this note. It just helped me to keep balance, right? And maintaining balance and equanimity is about being proactive. I love that word. Managing various aspects of your life and staying calm during pressure. No, it's easier said than done, right? I remember this week, next week, or this weekend, prioritize your values. Don't be afraid to set boundaries. And proactive self-care. I think it's important. I probably need to get some massage. I need to get my wife on one of these podcasts. And also stay flexible. That's very important, as we're both ambitious and we have these big goals, whatever that looks like for your ability to be flexible. It's just incredibly important because you have to work with different personality, right? And the other thing for me is I have an incredible team around me, including my family, friends, and my team, and we amplify each other's strength. We amplify that and we collaborate, of course, and we are learning, we are growing, right? So, end of the podcast. So if you've not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe, share the love with somebody today. Oh, lest I forget, my Latin teacher, it's coming. Let me know if you like the Latin stuff. So he said I should share this. Natural nihil fi fostra. Okay, I'm learning Latin, I'm learning French. My daughter speaks French, and it's helping me and Josh to learn French, right? We're Canadians. Okay, and I speak Yoruba as well. So, au d'abord, au revoir. What's I say in Latin? I would just say gratias to be a go, amico, or I mean it's right. Kaichifonu. How do I say that in Arabic? So I'm just saying salam alaikum, our Muslim friends. Bon Niut, Bon. I think they have about 70,000 languages. I found that really interesting. So thanks very much for joining us. So let's not forget, they just reminded me, my team, the next episode is going to be on reflection. Maybe we'll talk about what have I learned, what have I enjoyed, and the other thing is what would I do differently in the next couple of episodes? Obviously, we need a studio, right? We need a better lighting, nice background, and I need a microphone. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And of course, maybe I need to get somebody, to do all these digital stuff. Okay, we all work in progress, right? Okay, grab your guitar and let's do the rap and see. I'm just gonna try the rapping stuff. Okay, let me know. Don't worry. I like feedback. So let's tell me, if you like it, if you don't like it, if you just scrap it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yo, welcome to a tribe. We have to try. Keep wellness on the rise. Feeling alive. Up is the key of A. We're growing every day. Join the wellness party. Vibing with the rhythm. health and joy collide, catch the first flight, let your spirit ride. From morning till night, let a positive flow. So take a breath, like your water friend in the tribe joy. Let the music serenade together. Remember, we are unstoppable. Gracias to be a go. See you next week. Bye.